All right, guys. Hey, welcome back. It's Kate with Kate's Regretless Life. Let's get into this and we shall see where this storyline takes us and whatever the messages are. We have the Hand of Arithmetic. I believe that came out as a first card just the other day. We have Logic, we have Rhetoric, we have Librarian in the reverse. Let me get one or two more cards before I say too much. Ooh. We have got Four of Wands. We've got the Mayor of, or rather the King of Cups here, or Mayor of Water, same thing, but in the reverse. And we've got Water. So, all right, we start out with a lot of emotion here, trying to be suppressed. We have somebody doing anything that they can, arithmetic, logic, rhetoric, anything other than deal with emotion. But my impression is a little bit more like someone is trying to figure out why this person is fighting so hard and working so hard to suppress emotion. That would say that if you got to work that hard to act like something isn't there, it's because that's all you think about. That would be my impression, is that we have possibly a divine masculine that is fighting all of their feelings. They could be like overwhelmed. We've got that Four of Wands here that is sideways, and it's like, I will do anything other than admit that this is my wish, or that this is what I feel would actually be the thing I'd like to do. It's like the more they protest, methinks thou doth protest too much. The more they protest, the more obvious it is that they are crazy about somebody. Now, my impression is, do we have like someone making this observation about them, like, wow, they're getting pretty hostile about, such and such. Every time we bring up his or her name, they immediately try too hard to shut it down. They may be in love with the librarian. They may have a ton of emotions for someone that makes them think, and they don't really like it. They keep trying to find reasons, logical reasons, mathematical reasons, any verbal reasons, anything. Oh, we don't like the same stuff. We would never be together. There's no way that I would be with her or she would be with me. There's nothing here. There's nothing going on. She doesn't care about me. I don't care about her. Oh, no, we're just friends. Oh, no, we're just, we just like to be around each other a little bit. Oh, no, that's ridiculous. And I feel like the more he's trying to pretend somebody is just a friend, I think the more it's obvious that that's not the case. Why are you fighting it so hard? Fighting fate. Well, good luck with that. This is the Wheel of Fortune, but of course, he's literally fighting fate. Okay, he's fighting it because if he surrenders to this, surrenders to the very huge emotion that he actually feels, then he might be worried he'd drown in the emotions. Tell me who the librarian is. Is this your lady love, your femme fatale, the person of interest? We have the Leo, kind of at a jaunty little sideways angle with the heart on fire, so I'm going to say it definitely is the person who drives him crazy. And yes, I'm hearing Fine Young Cannibals. She drives me crazy. That long blonde hair. I love that song. I'm such an 80s kid. This feels like she may be somebody, it doesn't matter what age she is. She maybe has kind of a serious energy to her. Like a very, I'll say, almost educated or prim and proper way about her, and that could be the other thing, that he's just like crazy about her. That prim and proper persona. Maybe he's got a thing for, like the let's say the really intelligent, kind of like, maybe we'll go with a stereotype, like wears glasses and, very studious and like that is totally what turns him on. That is totally what he likes. That's what he's so drawn to, is this studious, educated, and it's driving him wild. but he keeps saying, of course, it doesn't even make sense. He could be like the opposite. He could be like biker. I don't know. This always looks like somebody who would just be more almost like Viking or more loud, more gregarious than a librarian who's always like shh, hush, hush, speak softly. You're in the library. This person doesn't have an easy time being hush hushed. But what's nuts about this is, as much as he's trying consistently to tell himself that this isn't anything, that this isn't love, or that this isn't the person that he's nuts about, the more he fights it, the deeper he falls, is what it says. Can we change decks and ask, where is she at with all of this? Tell me about the librarian for just a minute. She could be a bookkeeper too, or somebody that reads a lot. Okay, so we have a Knight of Cups. She perhaps already knows that he's interested, and she's not saying anything because it's like, well, he can ignore me all he wants, but he still is trying to move toward me. Ten of Swords, though. Here's the thing. In her mind, anyway, it kind of comes across as, hey, if I can tell that he's interested, but he keeps trying to avoid me, then, it's never going to take shape, and in fact, it's going to be over before it even begins. I don't think that the librarian here is trying to chase him around, though. Do you want him, librarian? Do you want something to do with him? We've got the Seven of Swords, and we've got the Nine of Wands sideways. Interestingly enough, she's doing a little bit of her own lying here with that Nine of Wands sideways and the Seven of Swords upright. She's not being 100% honest that this does bother her. She acted like it didn't, but it does. It bothers her that this is somebody who cares about her but is trying to stay away from her. And she, in turn, is trying to basically do the same, but it's actually because it hurts and she's not being honest about that. Well, sure, of course it hurts. Can we just see, I need to change decks one last time. Why is he handling it this way? What is the big taboo about this that, I have to find a way to say I couldn't be with her? Four of Cups. Tell me again, Four of Cups is just about disappointment. The Moon in the reverse, is it like, because I know I would only disappoint her? Or is it that I already did disappoint her? Queen of Wands and the Chariot. There's something about, like, I'm positive I could not get her to stay with me. This is starting to feel like this is a relationship where these two already had a shot and it didn't work out, and that's why he's been trying to convince himself, I already know I disappointed her, I know that, so she'll leave me anyway, and that's why I can't still want her. So, but then why is she his fate, his destiny? We've got the Knight of Wands, because he still is going to do something impulsive. By the way, seeing a falcon or a hawk in the sky, noticing someone's eye could be really, like, really staring into somebody's eyes. We have kind of golden brown eyes, and then we have blue-green eyes here. That could be other symbols. Somebody having a dog that's part wolf, a hybrid, could be another symbol. And this is weird and specific also, but I don't picture it like somebody who's just sitting there cross-legged, but almost like either kids playing like jacks, I don't know if any kids play that anymore, or sitting down doing like an art project like on the floor. That more comes to mind, like if somebody is noticing somebody sit around and do some artistic thing, or lay out even like puzzle pieces or something like that. That could be another symbol of the day that goes along with this story. All of these things, we also have a Ferris wheel, but I'm picturing it more like a toy Ferris wheel, like what we see here, like a model of one instead of an actual Ferris wheel. And then a keyboard, not specifically a typewriter, but a keyboard in general is like something somebody's taking their frustration out on. Maybe it's piano, maybe it's keys on a piano, or, keys on a, like typing keys. But all of this keeps saying that he already feels like he's disappointed. In fact, he knows he's disappointed her, and that he always will. But when we say, but why is that still his destiny? Because it's like he can't help himself. He is going to reach out to her again. He can't help himself. Knight of Swords, he's going to suddenly do it. It could be White Buffalo is here, so we could have, maybe he dreams about doing this, but it's almost like he could accidentally reach out when he's like half asleep and be like, oh my God, that wasn't a dream. I actually did send the message. I actually did. Oh my God. We have a Four of Pentacles, we have a Five of Pentacles, and we have the Four of Wands. Everything here keeps coming across like, I don't know if this is going to be a weird text, a slushy text in the middle of the night, where he's like half awake, half asleep, saying that, I just miss you, and, there's an element of like, I still want to marry this person, but I feel like I can't come home. And I just wish that I could come home. That's what all of this feels like, is I want so badly to come home and I can't say it. I won't let myself say it. But the more he focuses, it's like the more you focus on the elephant, or not saying that the elephant is in the room, the more you're probably definitely going to say the word elephant. That's what's going on for him. Is you can fight it all you want, but you're kind of drowning in the way you feel. He could live in New York. Somebody could live like on Washington Street, or the last name or something could be Washington. Let me go over to that Four of Wands. Why is it sideways first off instead of a direct, either horizontal or upright? Because this feels so questionable. Two of Swords in the reverse. This kind of communication that we've been getting so many stories of incoming communication, it's not even funny. Even after characters keep fighting it, then it's like all of a sudden they have to say it, all of a sudden they have to do something. This is unblocking it and then seeing what happens. The big desire here is first, if only we could unblock lines of communication to get things balanced again. But who wants that? Is it him or is it her? Seven of Cups. I don't know, this almost looks like both of them. There's a lot of alchemical symbols that could also show up today for a character. Seeing different alchemical symbols could be a really big message today. And it just reminds us that everything is about transmutation. We can take one thing and turn it into something else. We can think about something and insist one thing only to discover what I've been doing is not arguing against it, but truly making a case for why that's exactly what I do want to do. This relationship could be transmuted and transformed because there is love and desire and passion here. I still don't understand, why does he believe she'll leave me again? I already know she will because I've already disappointed her. We've got the Nine of Wands in the reverse. That might just be old thought process, old worries of his. We've got a Five of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, none of this actually feels legit. This almost feels like his old wounding is what made him say all that, what made him decide all that, and I don't even know if that's true. Did they have a past history where they already had a breakup? Queen of Swords and the Emperor. Well, unfortunately, yes. But they were really good together. They were really good together. Somebody could eat a lot of beef. Five of Swords, and then they also had lots of fights. Let's say they lock horns when they fight. These two had an argument, and it really ripped this relationship apart. What was the argument? He felt like he had to be super defensive. Strength card. I don't know. The argument had something to do with, Strength card is usually like the togetherness. I protect you, you protect me. How come you aren't? Where are you? Why don't you have my back? Or I need you with me more. Maybe these two didn't get enough time to be together. And so she was like, look, if we're not even going to be able to be together enough, forget it, I'm out. But that's not the same as you disappointing me. That's like, I wanted more time with you. So I can see now why we have the confusion on his part. Like, he's telling himself, no, I already disappointed her. I know I did. So she'll leave me again. when in fact what she wanted, I think, was more time with him. So this whole storyline is a little bit goofy because he's finding all these reasons that they wouldn't be good together, when in fact the only thing I think either of them ever wanted was to be around each other. One more card here, because these two, man, they got to change stuff with the alchemical symbols on that card. They've got to change things. We have got the Ten of Swords sideways. Yeah, there's definitely, I don't know why they would even settle for endings when neither one of them wants a painful ending. And it is painful for them to be apart. That's the truth of it. This is one of those kind of stories where it's like they're spending so much energy trying to stay apart when that's not what either of them seems to want. So I'm going to leave that there. The color silver, or somebody wearing silver jewelry, like kind of chunkier jewelry, could also be a symbol of the day. We do have a lot of sharp objects. Be careful around sharp pointed things, whether it's, you know, needles, or reaching into, you know, the cutlery drawer and grabbing a knife, you know, a knife blade. Be careful. Even like other, like typically not sharp items could have ended up with a jagged edge. So especially for her, be careful. For them, we do have a little bit more of the like negativity that comes out here. And this image of somebody running away. They may see an animal running away, a cat, dog, something running away, and that could also be that trigger for them that, yeah, it's just like when she ran away from me. It all feels like he's really convinced himself quite a bit that there's no way I'll make her happy, but then they're going to reach out anyway in this crazy way and kind of like give the meltdown of their heart, because it's destined to happen anyway, even if it's when they're half asleep or they're, you know, they've had a few too many drinkies. This says regardless, they're going to be reaching out and saying what their heart actually feels. It just feels like it's going to be coming out in kind of a slushy way. All right, I'm going to leave that there. By the way, somebody could be carrying an umbrella too, he particularly, because it could be raining where he's at. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I'll see you guys again in the next one. If you're looking for any of the zodiacs, you can find those just by clicking on the playlist tab, and then you can scan through whichever of the zodiacs you're looking for, or you can go to the live tab, and that'll show you whatever live videos I've recently posted. All right, bye guys.